Hi.
Hi, Eniola.
Hi, 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 hi.
Hi, everyone.
How you doing?
We're well, thank you.
Can you
How
believe
are
that
you
it's
doing?
here? Finally.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us. Why are we here? Why are we
Yes.
here?
Hi, everyone. I'm Ibukun Adelakun, and I'm a mom to 13, 11, 9, and 7, and I'm the founder of 300X Ignition. And we are here to share our stories. And I'm joined here with Eniola. I am the founder of 300X Ignition. And over to you, Eniola.
Hi, why are you being modest? Is that all your accolades? Is that all your accolades? Okay,
That's right.
it's going to be modest. We are not going to be modest. I'm Eniola Oyegunle. I'm a mom to two boys, two wonderful boys that I call champions who are both neurodivergent. I'm the founder of Thriving Beyond the Label, which is a community for parents supporting neurodivergent children. And the reason why we are igniting and thriving on this our conversation series is really to share our experiences. Beyond our community job, we are running our homes, we are running our careers, and we're just doing everything. And I think a few months ago, um, Ibuku came up with this idea for us to have this conversation. We just thought to ourselves, what is missing? I mean, there's a lot of podcasts. Thank God, neurodiversity is now out there. But we just really wanted to bring a lot more perspective that is real in terms of stories. I'm very big on stories, and so is Ibukun. We just want to tell people the good, the not too good, because even the not too good also is that it's the experiences are it provides learning experiences. So we just felt okay, let's see how we can share our experience. And you know what? While we are doing it live, let's share why we are doing it live. We don't just want to just bombard YouTube and bombard Facebook with things people are already doing. We want to hear from people what they want from this conversation series, isn't it, Ibuko? What do
Absolutely. We would
what do
like you.
we start to put it in the comments for those that are joining us already? What do you want us to talk about? We have a lot to talk about, but we want to talk about what you need right now. It will go over to you.
Absolutely. I mean, we know that there are challenges raising neurodivergent children. And for me, the journey started when we were living in London and my son was about a year old. And we went to see the speech therapist, to let them know that he wasn't talking, he wasn't communicating. And we were told everything was fine until he turned 7, and he was actually referred to the educational psychologist here in Manchester. And the journey started then, and he was, he was assessed on a series, of occasion with the doctors, and eventually we are here, and the struggles still continue daily. So we just want to encourage, parents, in this situation, that you're not alone in this journey. And I mean, to hear you're not alone is quite encouraging for me when I hear that, when I see parents, like-minded parents, in the same situation. And it helps us to empathize with one another. So that's why we are here. Is that not so, Eniola?
I guess so. Like for me, when Ibuku gave me this idea, I was like, oh, well, how much do we want to say? I mean, there are a lot of people sharing their experiences, which is good. But I think just to give a bit of context, Ibukun, I don't know why Ibukun is modest. Ibukun has how many children?
I've got 4 children.
And
Eniola says I'm modest.
one is
So yeah. Yeah, so I've
You have
got
one child who is neurodivergent. And in
yes.
my own case, both my sons, my first son is 10 and my second son is 7. So both of them are neurodivergent, both have an autism diagnosis. And we just really felt like it was, based on our lived experience, we'll be bringing a fresh perspective. Ibukun, what I raising more like a hybrid family. And for me, raising both kids are neurodivergent. So of course, our lived experiences are very different. We might be navigating similar journeys, but different perspectives. So we just felt two of us coming together, young children, we have a lot to share, and that's really why we're here. For me, the diagnosis journey, I was because our journey started from Nigeria. I wasn't chasing diagnosis. It was just like, why are my children not talking? They have to be talking. Why are they not talking? So for me, it was let's try and fix this problem of them not talking. I was not chasing diagnosis. It was later when we moved to the UK. We're based in the UK presently, and that I was like, okay, in this system, you kind of need to have a piece of paper that shows what's label. I'm not very big on labels, but hence striving beyond the label being the name of my community. But here, you kind of need a diagnosis so that people can have an understanding of your child or the individual. So yeah, so both my kids got the diagnosis, but I try not to I see the diagnosis as a piece of paper. I see it as that is the world's way of making sense of our children's uniqueness. I believe every child can thrive irrespective of the diagnosis, and I know that Ibuko has similar stand, which is why we are doing this. We are both faith-based women. We believe in the power of God. We believe that God created every child, every individual to be unique. Their uniqueness might not make sense to us. That does not mean they are not God's creation. So that is my own diagnosis story. I try not to dwell on it because that was not my focus at the beginning. It was like, these children need help. Let's get the help. And that is what I focus on. Let's support these kids. Let's support the children or the individuals in the community that might be different. And my focus will continue to be on bringing the best out of every individual, irrespective of how the world sees them. So that's my own
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's how we can encourage one another, seeing the best in one another, you know, beyond the label, like you always say, and like your books say, and your life, beyond the label, seeing that child, outside the diagnosis, and just for me, is more of the child fulfilling his or her maximum potential. So we like to just ignite that interest. We know every child has their own level of interest, but they need that bit of push, just a little bit of push to say, yes, you can do it. And that's where we come in, and we just like to see them, being all that they want to be, both in primary school and even through high school, even to college, and to become a better member of the community. And that's why we actually are here to ignite one another,
Yep, yep, yep.
and
Sorry, I'm the drama
yes.
queen.
Absolutely, Eniola. So, I mean, why do we want to get everyone involved in our conversations, Eniola?
I mean, if we want to use the data, this suggests that 1 in 30, I think in the UK, or 1 in 31, regardless of, depending on where you get your data from, have some sort of neurodivergence or autism. I'm not quite sure which of them has that 1 in 30. So it is a big deal. We cannot shy away from this topic. I'm sure people that are watching this, wherever you've gone, you would have seen a child or an adult, or a teen manifesting something that might not be typical, as we tend to use the word typical. So we cannot shy away from it. And I think for as Black women, I'm very, very,
Yeah,
very proud that a lot of Black mothers, a lot of Black parents, a lot of families are beginning to talk about their experiences, because our culture is one of those kind of cultures where we are all hiding away. We don't want the world to know what we are going through. But if we don't let the world know what we are going through, people that are at the beginning of their journey going to get the hope, the encouragement, the guidance that they need to navigate their journey. So for me, I've taken this very personal. I just started doing this like a year ago, after I wrote a book about my son's journey towards speaking, my first son, a champion speaks. And I'm so amazed by the number of families who have really seen the message and the stories we put out there, find it very encouraging. And it makes you realize that we are not alone. Because at the beginning of my journey, I was hiding away because, like I said, I was obsessed with trying to find a solution to my children not speaking. But I realized that as much as that hiding away helped me to get knowledge, it probably was not the best strategy because I did not ask for help. So all the things that I could not do at the beginning of my journey is really what I'm encouraging people to begin to do now. Because in retrospect, you cannot do this by yourself. I mean, Ibuku, it
No,
takes a village, isn't it? You cannot do this
absolutely.
work by yourself. You need the professionals, you need the
Mhm.
families, you need the communities. You need everybody, So we just want to add our own voice to it. And even because we are parents, we're not using any jargon. That's not the intention. We're hoping to hear what people after this episode, what people really want us to focus on. But we want to really share our story so that everybody can, regardless of whether, and you don't even necessarily have to be raising a child with a neurodivergent condition. We all have a duty of care towards each other. The more knowledge, the more awareness we create in society, the better for all families. So really, this
Absolutely.
is a conversation series for everybody.
Mhm.
Whether or not you're navigating it, it will help you, because whether you like it or not, there will be somebody in your family. If it's not you directly,
Mhm.
there will be somebody in your family that needs that knowledge. So that is really why we're here. I think we have sold the idea of why we're here. Let's begin to give them tips, like give them like a taste of what they might be getting. You want to brag about your son, Ibukun? Brag about your son. Brag about your son.
I mean, it's all glory to God. Like Anila said, we are faith-based moms and we must learn to give God all the glory because, I mean, we've come this far. It's not by might, it's not by power, it's not by anybody's doing. It must always be to the glory of God because He's been helping us through it, starting from day one. When we realized that that child was not playing like, other babies, to year one, when we realized that he wasn't communicating like other, classmates of his, all through, the pandemic, when, we realized that, wow, this is called autism. And we thought, my goodness, this is very new to us. We were in denial. However, when he turned 10, we decided to, you know, start the foundation, and this didn't just come out of uh, uh, maybe fame, wanting to be known. No way. We just thought, how can we help this child to transition from primary school to high school? Because obviously in primary school, we're always there, you know, helping this child. But in when it comes to leaving primary school, where they're helping, or even at the early stage of high school, you still are trying to, adjust to letting go. But I mean, the point came where he had to be even more independent, and and at the point it was scary, but it's good we sought help. It was also good that we listened to our instinct, about supporting him. And to God be the glory, he in year 8 he won the best music student award in his entire year group. And then recently, he also won an award, the Little Heroes Award in London. These things are, giving glory to God, coming from a place where, as Eniola said, in Nigeria, you don't know about the autism, what's called autism in Nigeria. I never knew. I never knew what neurodivergence was. I never knew, all these words or diagnoses. Even as a medical student, you can imagine a science student. I didn't know this could come close to home as it did to me. However, seeking the right help and also knowing that we are not alone. I must emphasize this, knowing that there are people in the community with this challenge, and we must learn to speak out. Eniola, speaking out for me was my highlight. I never kept quiet. There were times where I spoke out and I had to cry, you know. And there were times that even after I spoke out, I didn't get the help I need. Or I mean, I didn't get the help I needed at the point. But knowing that when the door closes, another one opens is another thing that we need to learn on this journey. So we must not dwell in self-pity. We just have to ask for the right help and keep moving on. And thank you, Eniola, for bringing that spotlight, because obviously time goes and you forget to celebrate your success or the little wins in your life. So, yeah, every praise to our God.
Powerful,
How
powerful. I
about you,
mean,
Eniola?
I'm very big on celebrations. They know in my community, like no
Mm,
matter how small, we must celebrate because, especially at this time of the year where most people are reflecting on, life, reflecting on the year, what they've achieved, what they've not achieved. I mean, you need to take stock. And for if you are raising children with any form of additional needs, even the smallest of milestones achieved is a big deal because the work that goes into it, the emotional, the consistency, the in fact, let's not offload, it can be a lot. So I'm very big on celebrations, no matter how small, even if it's something as simple as your child has not been eating any other food and he touched another food even without putting it in his mouth. I mean, that's progress because it's a big deal, It's
absolutely.
a big deal for a
Hmm.
child to do
Hmm.
something new that he has not been doing, he or she. So
Hmm.
I'm very, very big on celebrations, and I'm sure you are going to be hearing a lot. I mean, I'm grateful for both my boys. Both of them are,
Hmm.
speaking. My first son is conversational now. He's in year 6, going to secondary school next year. My second son is the year 3 equivalent. He's in specialist school. So yeah, both of them, two different set of needs, but I'm grateful because I can really see the progress. I took I was like taking stock. You know how it is where at the beginning of the year you set goals or what you want your child to achieve and things like that. I now went back to my journal and I saw all the wonderful things that they were able to achieve. I was sharing with my community the other day that I was able to cross one or two things out of the long list. And that for me is wonderful. I mean, that's amazing. It might not sound like a big deal. I mean, what is one or two out of 10?
Absolutely.
For me, it's a big deal. And you need those moments because that's where the hope
Hmm.
for whatever it is you want to do next comes from, and you must never lose sight of celebrating. There are always many things that are questionable, but we must not lose sight of celebrate. And I think we are going to sound like a broken record all through this series, right? But that is it. You must find joy in the simplest of things because
Hmm.
that's what matters. That's really what matters. So talking about festivities, we're in Christmas. I mean, we're approaching Christmas, right?
You can see my hats.
Yeah, I mean, look at the colors. Me, I was not, I didn't get the memo. I didn't get the memo. You're very Christmassy. Well done. So we are doing something really
It's the
exciting.
first day of December tomorrow, and it's the first
I
Sunday
know.
of Advent. It's the first Advent Sunday. So
You see that you're even more up to up to date. So yeah, I'm just winging it. I don't know Christmas is around the corner. In fact, my sister was showing me, she's put a picture that she has set up her Christmas tree. It occurred to me that, oh yes, we set up Christmas tree, right? But yeah, I'm getting into it. But we're doing something very exciting. Ibukun, both our communities are doing something very exciting. Ibukun, do you want to share before I drum roll, drum roll, drum roll? What are we doing on the 13th? Whoop, whoop, whoop. On the 13th
woo-woo.
of December, something exciting, something lovely, something fun for those based in Manchester, UK. Both the Thriving Beyond the Label community and the 300 Ignition community are hosting families based in Manchester and environs to a wonderful festive family fun. Come with your family, with your friends, with your enemies for a wonderful session in Manchester. Come and meet with other families, and you don't necessarily have to be raising a family with additional needs to join. The details are on the
Mhm.
flyer. The scan the QR code. It's gonna be fun. I mean, I and Ibukun we've been fighting to get this event off the ground. So we're looking forward to seeing as many people as can come 13th of December, which is literally 2 weeks from now, from 11 to 2 p.m. Just a catch up, come and mingle with families, sponsored by both our communities, as mentioned before. So, what are the
Absolutely.
exciting plans apart from Ignite and Thrive festive? What else do you have planned for Christmas, Ibuku?
For Christmas, I think like you and Yola, because I've heard you several times saying reflection. For me, reflection is key, this period, just thinking up about, the achievements from January up until now and giving thanks basically. In US it's Thanksgiving month,
Mm.
I mean, so it's just always giving thanks and looking for something to be grateful for all the way. That's for me.
I think for me, that's what for me. I'm very big on reflections, and but I think one of the things we are also going to be probably considering in the new year is to hear other people's thoughts about reflect about what they think about the coming year, and it's also good to look back at the previous year as well. So we're
Mhm,
looking forward to that, where we'll probably talk more in the new year on that. But please drop a comment on what you want us to focus on in subsequent conversation series. Basically, we are hoping to drop an episode every last Sunday of the month for as long as we can. We can handle it, isn't it? Ibuku? Every last
yes,
Sunday
we
of the
can.
month, focused on different things. In the new year, we'll probably be talking about reflections, talking
Absolutely.
about burnouts. We don't know yet. Let's see, depending on what people
Hmm.
say. But for me, in
Yes.
terms of reflecting on the year, like this year has been challenging in different ways, but we must not focus. I mean, and I think raising my children has taught me to not dwell on the negatives. We have to always focus on the positives, because I mean, so many things could have gone wrong, but many things might have even gone wrong, but many things
Hmm.
went right. So that's what my focus is for
Absolutely.
the coming year and things like that. So, Ibuku, I feel like we should just what I'm sensing is maybe we should just imagine a family that is just at the beginning of their journey, where they're just probably just gotten a
Mm.
diagnosis, an autism diagnosis, ADHD, or whatever, diagnosis. What word of
Mhm.
encouragement, as we begin to kind of wrap up, what word of encouragement will you give a family navigating it at the
Yeah.
beginning stage?
Thank you, Eniola, for that. And I think the goal for such a family, including mine, is actually to focus on proving God right and not proving others wrong. Because
Mm.
most of the time we're in the game of, competing with one another, trying to prove the community wrong, trying to prove our boss wrong, trying to prove our relationships or whoever is in this relationship wrong, or even the doctors and the psychologists, or even whoever the professional is you're working with on this journey. Please save the energy and count your blessings, name them one by one. Be in the business of proving God right rather than proving others wrong. And you will see a massive growth in the journey. It's a journey, and follow through the process is very important. It's helped me.
I
And you're
absolutely
like
love
you?
I absolutely love
Yeah.
that. Like for me, I think one of most people that know me know that I say this a lot.
Mhm,
And I think that's one of the reasons why I learned to start coming out to share my story, because I realized that, you know, it gets better. It might not look like it at the beginning that, this child cannot talk, this child cannot write, this child is not potty trained, this child can, all the can't. But I assure you, it
mhm,
gets better. But definitely, there's an intentionality to that getting better. We can't just sit down and fold our hands and say it to get better. Just like
mhm,
Ibiko has shared, get the help, cry, shout, advocate, do
mhm.
everything you need to do. You're not alone. You're not alone, regardless of which part of the world you are. There is some sort of support there
Absolutely.
if you cry out and you ask for help. So I definitely want to encourage anyone that is at that beginning stage that they must not lose their hope. Whatever it is that you need to hold on to, because we are faith-based people, we will say God. But whatever it is you need to hold on to so that you don't lose that
Mm.
hope. Because you need hope on this journey. Without hope, you'll be depleted very easily. So I would say that. And another big mantra of mine, apart from it gets better, is every child can learn. No matter how that child might present, no matter how it feels like you have taught this child how to do this 1 million times, you just need to find it. It's about finding the right strategy. It's about finding you can get through to that child. First of all, you just need to be consistent. First of all, you have to learn to speak their language, meet that child where that child is, not where you want them to be. I remember at the time where we're teaching, I'll just use a short story just to try and, because I mean we're here to share stories. That is two women on a mission sharing stories. So it was share stories. So if I just use a small example, about potty training, which is one of those big things. At the beginning, especially potty training, actually both my sons, it felt like, would these children ever get it? But I figured that with consistency, okay, these children, because of how our house is structured, they like routine. So they wake up in the morning, we take them to toilet. When they are going out, we take them to toilet. And that is how both of them learned, by putting that thing we were trying to teach them into a
Mhm.
routine. It made them realize,
Mhm.
because these children, they are not doing it because they don't know. So you have to make them know. You can't make assumptions that they are being stubborn. They're not being stubborn. They don't know. You have to teach
Mm.
them. So every child can learn. Find how to teach them. And I think that's where the difficulty is. Finding the right strategy to teach your child. But you need to tell yourself and tell that child, you can learn. You can learn whatever your child name
Yes.
is, you will call it. You will learn this thing. Oh, you must learn it. Every child can learn. And that is my own. That's my encouragement for anybody starting this journey. Every child can learn, and it gets better.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've been here for quite a while now. We don't want to stay for longer than 30 minutes. So, Ibuku, any final words for our families?
Yes. I've written the purpose. My personal purpose is actually in growth and in wisdom because, you know, the child will not stay one forever.
Mm,
Neither will the child stay 10 years old forever. So there's a growth,
mm,
so we must always learn to enjoy, that's enjoy the growth, enjoy the process,
mm,
and just apply knowledge. And that's where wisdom comes in. Whatever information we share here together, we're learning, we're unlearning,
mm,
relearning, you know.
mm,
So let's gather the knowledge, apply it wherever, because there's no point spending time here and we're not applying this knowledge. This is where wisdom comes in, the application of this information shared. And it's
mm,
just, when you pick the ones that are, right for your child or for you, you pass it on as well. And that's why you
mm,
need to share, like, and comment, please, so that we
mm.
can all grow together.
I love it. You said all that to say this. Like, share, and comment. Beautiful. I love it. I love it, Ibuku. You can tell me and Ibuku have different personalities, but we are bringing it. I mean, Ibuku is such a
Absolutely.
powerhouse of wisdom. So everything she says, do
Um,
it. Like, share. And really, there's nothing else that I have to add to that. I really
mm,
want to appreciate you all for joining us today. And for those that are going to be watching this later, thank you so much for joining. We do not take it for granted. Spending 30 minutes of your time with us every last Sunday of the month. So we promise that by the 28th of December, about this time, there'll be another series dropping on both my personal Eniola Oyegunle um, YouTube handle and Ibukun Facebook. We had some technical challenges, but we'll figure it out. We'll get better. Just bear with us. It's not gonna be perfect, but it ain't gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be real. That I can tell you. And
that's it.
looking forward
That's
to
it.
hearing and seeing all the comments on what you want us to focus on. We are co-creating this series
Mhm.
with you. We want to meet your needs. We want to answer your questions. See you next time. Ibukun,
See
final
you.
words. Whoa, whoa. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
See you soon. Bye bye.